Yes, hello there guys, girls, people of the internet and the YouTube gaming community. My name is BPRGaming and today guys I'm bringing you another video on Assassin's Creed, but this is kind of different. This is a new series I'm starting called The History Of. We're going through different game franchises, whether it's Call of Duty, Battlefield, The Witcher or Assassin's Creed. I'm going to bring you guys information about the characters and how they kind of fit around into storyline. Now guys, today we're going to start off with the one, the only Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Now guys, he is the most known assassin from the Assassin's Creed franchise. Everyone loves him, he's a legend. So guys, if you like the video, click that like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and comment down below who you want to see me cover next. So let's get straight into the video. Now, Ezio Auditore da Firenze was born in 1459 and died in 1524. He was a Florentine nobleman during the Renaissance and, unbeknownst to most historians and philosophers, the mentor of the Italian Brotherhood of Assassins, a title which he held from 1503 to 1513. He is also an ancestor to William and Desmond Miles, as well as Clay Casmeric. A member of the House Auditore, Ezio remained unaware of his assassin heritage until the age of 17, when he witnessed the hanging of his father and two brothers, Federico and Petruccio. Forced to flee his birthplace with the remaining family members, his mother and sister, Ezio took refuge with his uncle in the Tuscan town of Monteriggioni at the Villa Auditore. After learning of his heritage from Mario, Ezio began his assassin training and set about on his quest for vengeance against the Templar Order and their Grand Master, the Spaniard Rodrigo Borgia, who had ordered the execution of his kin. Now, during his travels, Ezio managed not only unite the pages of the Codex written by Altair ibn Lahad, mentor of the Levantine assassins, but also to save the cities of Florence, Venice and Rome from Templar rule. He ensured the future travels of Christopher Columbus to the New World, and liberated Rome from Borgia rule and prevented the rise of power from Ercole Massimo's cult of Hermes, helping spread the Renaissance and assassin ideals of independence and free will throughout Italy. In the years that followed, Ezio began a quest to rediscover the lost history of the Order, travelling to the aged fortress of Masyaf in order to learn more of the assassins before him. He discovered it overrun with Templars and made his way to the city of Constantinople to uncover the location of the Masyaf keys, which, as he discovered, would unlock the fortress' fabled hidden library when brought together. A decade later, Ezio had retired and resided in a Tuscan villa with his wife Sofia Sartor and his two children, Flavia and Marcello. Sometime after helping teach the Chinese assassin Xiao Jun the ways of the Order, Ezio died of a heart attack at the age of 65 during a visit to Florence with his wife and daughter. So Ezio was also both a highly skilled assassin and an adept mentor, as I just said. He learned and developed a vast array of skills such as picking pockets, blending into crowds, armed and unarmed combat, alternative or multiple weapon attacks, stealth and public assassination techniques, free running and long range combat. He was also able to use a variety of weapons and gadgets, including the two hidden blades, a sword, throwing knives, smoke bombs, short blades and many more. He was also born with the ability to use eagle vision. Ezio could instinctively differentiate friend from foe and be warned about any oncoming danger or attacks. Now this is allowing him to dodge it upon realization. Now after taking his captive father, talking to his captive father, he later inherited his father's assassin robes, which he would upgrade with various armor and dyes throughout his life. Now, as an explorer throughout his quests, Ezio scoured the cities he visited in search of codex pages and seals from the 6 assassin tombs spread across northern Italy. The codex pages allowed Leonardo da Vinci to upgrade his weaponry. Now, this is including the addition of a real-lock firearm and poison needle concealed beneath his left hidden blade. Now, by collecting the 6 tomb seals, Ezio gained access to the armor of Altair ibn Lahad created. This, which was no longer lost, due to the fall of Monteriggioni. He also collected capes that had helped him stay incognito to city guards. The only expectation to this was the cape bearing the Auditore family crest, which made him easily recognizable due to his family's history. In 1500, during the siege of Monteriggioni, Ezio lost most of his equipment, but he was able to keep his original hidden blade. His blade also underwent some alterations anonymously by Niccolo Machiavelli, though he merely replaced the former leather and metal bracer with a new fully plated version bearing a different design. Also, the former blade was replaced with a newer one that bore a black tribal design running down the centre of the blade. During his time in Rome, Ezio's usual attire would be replaced by a new outfit based on elements from both his father's clothing and Altair's robes. he became an adept user of the crossbow and also obtained the armor of Brutus after stealing all the scrolls from the followers of Romulus. In addition, Ezio also acquired poison darts and parachutes, courtesy of Leonardo da Vinci. Ezio had been a very skilled freerunner from a young age. He learned how to freerun under the tutelage of either his father or older brother, and was able to move quickly and efficiently in sprinting, climbing, and jumping. In addition, he was also an extremely enduring and strong athlete, being able to perform all these actions without being encumbered by his large variety of weapons and armor at all. Another proof of his higher than average strength is when he was seen to lift heavy objects or sometimes pull them to moderate to little effort and brutally murder men larger and stronger than him with ease. Now, despite his advancing years, Ezio Auditore's skill and speed as a freerunner increased significantly, being aware of all of his surroundings as well as planning his next move very quickly and carefully, as observed by younger assassins such as Francesco Frizzelli. Ezio's speed and abilities gave him a legendary status among the Roman Thieves Guild, so far as going to convince some of the members to believe that Ezio's freerunning skills were exaggerated and blatantly impossible for someone his age. But Ezio was also capable of tolerating and suppressing his own pain to a point where that it would not prevent him from engaging in head-to-head combat if really needed. In 1500, during the siege of Monteriggioni, even after being shot by multiple arquebuses in the chest area, Ezio was still able to fight guards with ease later on and even climb the Auditore crypt walls without exhausting himself. Now, Ezio's overall durability was extremely high for a man like himself, as he survived being stabbed in the stomach by Cecco Orsi and Rodrigo Borgia in 1488 and 1499 respectively, and getting shot multiple times by arquebuses during the siege of Monteriggioni, getting shot down by a cannon and falling off a cliff while severely injuring his arm, and he still managed to fight as if he had no effect on him at all. Ezio was also capable of healing his injuries most of the time without any medical aid at an accelerated rate, but when severely injured, he required the aid of medicine to help them heal. When he had the Apple of Eden in his possession, Ezio was capable of healing from all kinds of injuries, regardless of the attacks inflicted on him. Now, by 1511, at the age of 52, Ezio still retained his athletic abilities and skill in combat. His eagle vision had evolved into eagle sense, enabling him to track enemies, determine targets, diagnose the injured, detect scent vapors of poisons, detect imminent threats more precisely and faster, as seen when he was about to be attacked by stalkers, and find lost books around Constantinople. He acquired the hook blade from his fellow master assassin and close friend Yusuf Tazim, and quickly mastered its utility in freerunning and combat. He also made use of bomb crafting after it had been introduced to him by Yusuf and Piri Reis. After discovering the 10 major pages of Ishak Pasha scattered across Constantinople, Ezio explored the Hagia Sophia and recovered his armor. After he retired, Ezio's physique degraded significantly. Now, by 1524, Ezio's stamina and agility had decreased to the point where he could barely run across his own great field, whereas before he could sprint for 300 meters uninterrupted. If not for neglecting his training, then Ezio's drastic physical deterioration was due to older age and illness, though he retained his heightened sense of awareness even at his death. Even with severe handicaps, Ezio was still able to overpower 3 Chinese swordsmen with only his fireplace poker. He was even able to use the poker as an improvised hook blade, allowing it to throw an attacker across the room before hurling it into his skull. However, Ezio was completely outmatched by the last enemy in terms of strength due to old age, and would have been definitely killed had the attacker not succumbed to the injuries inflicted by both Ezio and Xiao Jun. Now, Ezio took quite a beating from a man of his age during the assault on his villa, and this may have contributed to his passing not long after Jun's departure, though it is more likely that his heart simply could not handle the amount of stress it had gone through. Now guys, Ezio was known for his good looks, flirtatious nature, and predisposition for womanizing. Though the latter part of his life was centered around his hunt for Rodrigo Borgia, Ezio shared multiple romantic relationships with a number of different women. Now, by 1476, Ezio had many encounters with various unnamed Florentine girls and courtesans before the execution of his family, insulting Vera de' Pazzi by suggesting that his sister seemed quite satisfied with the handling he had given her earlier. That year, Ezio was in a permanent relationship of sorts with Cristina Vespucci, though against the wishes of her father. Following his street brawl with Vieri de Pazzi on the Ponte Vecchio, Ezio visited Cristina during the night, despite his brother's request otherwise. He was chased out by Cristina's father the next morning and subsequently had to flee the city guards. 2 years later, when Ezio returned to Florence, Cristina was engaged to Manfredo Soderini, though she admitted to still loving Ezio. 8 years later, when Cristina and Manfredo travelled to Venice for Carnival, Ezio, posing as her husband, wrote her asking her to come meet him, to which Cristina complied. As both wore Carnival masks, she did not recognise him until he kissed her. Cristina then removed his mask and asked Ezio how he dared kiss her like that, telling him she never wanted to see him again. When Ezio tried to stop her, she explained that if he really loved her, he would not simply have let Manfredo marry her. Now, when Ezio returned to Florence again in 1497, he learned from a wounded Manfredo that he and Cristina had been attacked by Savonarola's men. Ezio tracked down Cristina and killed her assailants. As he proceeded to take Cristina to a doctor, she died in his arms, after telling him that she wished that they could have had a second chance together. Ezio wrote years later that he felt something withered in him after her death. Now, before meeting Cristina during Carnival, and while trying to find a way to Venice, Ezio accompanied his friend Leonardo da Vinci to Forli. He was initially refused passage aboard the ship to Venice, but his fortunes changed after encountering Caterina Sforza, who had become stranded on a small island with no means of escape. Ezio rescued her, and she repaid the favour by granting him passage to Venice. She told him that the next time he returned to Forli, it would be her pleasure to entertain him. Moments later, after Ezio revealed to his close friend that Caterina was a future conquest and his type of woman, Leonardo informed Ezio of the lady's identity and that she was married to the Count of the city. Also, at some point during this time in Forli, Ezio encountered a girl named Amelia. During this encounter, Amelia and 2 of her friends were discussing whether anyone could beat their record in horseback riding race. Ezio took on the challenge in return for a private riding lesson with Amelia should he prove successful, which he was. Now, when Ezio arrived in Venice for the first time, an unknown young woman attempted to pickpocket him. Later the same day, Ezio witnessed a woman and a group of thieves attempted to scale the Palazzo della Seta. They attempted, it ended in a failure, and the girl was shot in the leg by an archer. Ezio intervened, defending her from Emilio Barbega's thugs, and upon helping her to safety, he learned that her name was Rosa, and that she was a member of the city's Thieves Guild. At first, Rosa's attitude towards Ezio was very aggressive and unfriendly, but after he saved her, she became much more amiable. While trying to acquire the golden mask, Ezio was seen flirting with many of Sister Teodora's courtesans. After the carnival challenges, when Ezio went up to accept the golden mask as his prize for victory, he was accompanied by a courtesan. After assassinating Marco Balgora and seeking sanctuary in the brothel, Ezio flirted with Sister Teodora, who invited several of her girls to comfort Ezio. Now, since their first meeting in Forli, Ezio's feeling for Caterina Sforza developed, and in January 1500, Ezio had an intimate encounter with her, sleeping with her in the Villa Auditore before it was besieged by Cesare Borgia and his army. Now, after her capture, Ezio sank into a state of near depression, where his feelings for Caterina conflicted with his suspicion that she was merely using him. Despite this impression, Ezio was determined to rescue her from the Castel Sant'Angelo, disregarding the insistence of Niccolo that Cesare and Rodrigo Borgia should be the focus of his attention. Now, during their escape, Caterina hesitantly explained to Ezio that the night that they had shared had only been in the name of politics, and she had needed his help in defending Forli. Ezio continued to hope that his feelings for Caterina were gone, though she soon informed him otherwise. Despite his subsequent decision to no longer pursue Caterina's affections, the two remained close allies for the sake of the Brotherhood. Now, while on a ship arriving in Constantinople, Ezio briefly saw Sophia Sartor, who was travelling from Rhodes and returning to her bookstore. He attempted to talk to her, but she was too distracted to pay attention to him. Later, Ezio met Sophia again at her store while searching for the massive keys. The two worked out a bargain. If she helped Ezio track down the keys, he would retrieve and give her some of the books the Polos had hidden. That's like Niccolo Polo. In an attempt to keep Sophia away from the assassin and Templar fight, Ezio kept Sophia in the dark about the purpose of his search and attempted to keep his relationship with her platonic. However, as time went on, Ezio grew to admire Sophia more and would often linger at her shop to be with her. Sophia also came to adore Ezio as well, asking him to be her escort to the Adrianople, which Ezio had to reluctantly decline due to his search. She also arranged a picnic for the two of them in the park near Hagia Sophia. Now, when Ezio left Constantinople, to assassinate Manuel Pelagus, he asked Yusuf Tazim to keep Sophia safe. However, the Templar Ahmet, knowing of their relationship, dispatched a group of soldiers to kidnap her. Now, while Yusuf managed to hold back many of the soldiers, he was eventually killed, and Sophia was captured. Now, upon learning this, Ezio flew into a range and attacked the arsenal in great force with the local assassins. He eventually submitted to Ahmet's demands, however, as he still held Sophia, and gave up the Masyaf keys. However, after being rescued, Sophia helped Ezio chase after Ahmet and retrieved what had been taken. Ezio and Sophia eventually travelled to Altair's library in May 1512. Now, Ezio decided to retire as an assassin. The two left Masyaf and wed each other, before the couple moved to a villa outside Florence, where they would eventually raise their son and daughter. Now, in 1524, Ezio died of a heart attack, and his final words were in a letter addressed to Sophia, where he commented that the love he had for her and their children was what kept him going in his old age. So guys and girls, this has been a long-winded video, but I hope you have enjoyed it. I'll be doing more of these, probably going to do Desmond or Altair next. But anyway guys, if you have enjoyed the video, remember to click that like button, subscribe for more videos like these, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye for now, and have a great day.